Hey everyone, welcome to another outdoor intrigue adventure. It's Saturday morning it's 10 to 12 and we set off from home about 2 hours ago and we've driven to a little tiny, quite remote car park at the bottom of a couple of Munros that we're going to take on today. But the weather is looking...
wet.
Yeah, as you can see. Can flip it around and show you in a minute, but it's absolutely chucking it down, and it's been chucking it down all night as well. And this is supposed to be a boggy route too, isn't it?
In Creag, Mhor and Beinn, Heasgarnich.
Yeah.
Which are over by Glenlochy, near Perth and Kinross, or in Perth and Kinross. And yeah, it already says on Walk Highlands, I think it's either 4 little bog reeds, so one of the boggier sets of Munros, with a lot of trackless and pathless ascent and descent coming down near a peat bog that you have to be careful not to go too close to, otherwise it will become impassable.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of water happening. Probably hear it on the car. Yeah, last night, even over where we are towards Arica, absolutely coming down the rain all night long, and all the rivers are really full, so swollen. There's one other car in the car park, so I'm assuming that that's someone else who's headed out on the Munros. That's the only other car that we've seen out here, so clearly not a busy day. For good reason.
yeah,
I'll stop this and I'll show you just quickly what the rain's like, and then we'll have to jump out, get our stuff out the boot, get all our waterproofs on, motivate ourselves to head out. When you're warm as well.
At the beginning of this route. Look, more inviting.
It's something like, I always love it, and when you're out in weather it's always enjoyable, but it's the getting out of the car when you're dry and warm and you're quite tired after a week of working. But sometimes like, oh man.
This is definitely a day for sitting on the sofa watching films under a blanket with popcorn.
Right, we're getting hammered by the weather at the moment. We've just had a little respite for a couple of minutes, but most of the pull along here, we've just done about 9 kilometers. We've been getting absolutely battered by heavy rain and wind. We're all good, we're still dry at the moment, which is good, testament to good waterproofs, which are definitely worthwhile having in the Highlands. But now we're at the junction where we're going to start pulling straight up to the summit from here, which is Creag, Mhor, I think. 1,047 meters, so we've got about a 700 meter pull straight up the side, trackless pretty much, to the summit, and down from there and kind of back on ourselves to complete a loop back where we started. But it's beautiful. Glenlochy is looking, gorgeous. The river that winds through it is just stunning. And you've got a few Munros out here. This is Beinn, I think, probably pronouncing that wrong. And obviously the other one that we're going to hit later on as well. side hilling makes it very hard. It's really trackless and very, very wet today. And it's one of the things in my experience that trail runners or lightweight trail shoes of any sort are the worst at, is when you're contouring along, basically side hilling, so you're going along what is quite a steep gradient at one height and you're having to kind of walk on your ankles. You get used to it, and like I'm pretty used to it these days, so your ankles build up, but it's tougher. And it's just wet, it's really slippy. It's going to slow us down a lot today, I can feel it. But that's it, some days are like that.
Yeah, even in boots, when you're walking along the side, your feet
still
slide
tough.
around.
It just gives you a little bit more ankle support, but
Yeah.
I mean, you build up your ankles, it's just one thing to be aware of. But yeah, wet, wet, wet. Quite a lot of water coming up there. Can't even look that way. Yeah, that's got to be up there. Absolutely brutal today. Coming up to our first summit. The wind gusts are serious up here. Really. And the rain is relentless. The Highlands are being tough today. Just giving you guys a little update whilst we're slightly out of the wind. We're just up over 820 meters here, so we've got about 220 meters left to pull up to the first summit. And yeah, we've just been getting absolutely battered, as you might see from some of the footage. The weather is brutal today. It's turned even more fierce. The rain is coming down heavily, heavily, heavily. Just a little bit of respite right now, like a little bit of a break, but it's been chucking it down, and the worst is the wind. The gusts are way more than what it was forecast for, especially up here, but I did look at what it was going to be up high, and I reckon some of the gusts, you're talking 60 miles. I mean, it's literally knocking you off your feet. You wouldn't want to be on exposed ridges or anything. It's really like it's like when someone just pushes you. So we'll see what it's like. We want to get up, drop down off the summit, and hopefully come out of the wind, or at least have it on our backs for a little bit, because we're getting hit in the face by wind-blown rain, and you know, when it's that strong as well, it's just stinging your eyes. So yeah, it's tough going today, mostly because of the weather and the ground up here. There's not a real trail, so it's just open, very wet hillside. Yeah, all good though. We keep going nevertheless. Just had a bit of chocolate, that lifts spirits. Yeah, this first one in the bag. Hopefully escape the wind for a little bit, but I don't know. See how it goes. Well, we'll give you an update. It's been a bit hard to do an update because the wind was insane on top. So right now we're back down, just not far from the car, to complete a slightly varied version of the original route. When we got up towards the first summit, the wind was really picking up heavily, and the gusts up from sort of even 700 meters up was just really intense, and we felt it getting stronger and stronger. By the time we got to the summit of Creag, Mhor, so 1,000 and just over 1,040 meters, the wind was that strong that Megs was getting pushed over, like literally couldn't stand up. And same for me, the gusts were so strong. You know, if you've ever been in mountain weather where it's like that, it's so challenging. Every footstep that you're placing, you have to be so careful because the gusts hit you, and it's like someone's just pushed you basically. It makes it really tricky. Definitely gets the adrenaline flowing when you're up high and the wind's really coming through, and obviously the rain hasn't stopped all day, so we had sideways wind driven rain into your face. You know, I had my coat closed up so it was like a little letterbox almost. Really brutal, and it feels it as well when you're up there. The feels like on the top was probably about -6, so there's about 4 degrees air temperature up on the summit, but with the wind, so I would say, and I didn't have a wind meter with me so I don't know, but it was more than what it was forecast to be windy, but not that windy. I think it was probably about 60 mile an hour with 70 mile an hour plus gusts, because it was I mean, I've been in wind similar to that before, and it's so intense where it's actually pushing you. At points you have to literally brace right down. You might see some in the video, hopefully we've captured some bits and we can show you, right? Because then you'll get an idea a little bit. Anyway, we decided on the first summit, it was so brutal that we decided, right, we'll do the one with one Munro in the bag, instead of coming on the drop down, which was off of the other side, another ridge down, and then up the following one. We're like, no, let's call it, we'll head down. Sometimes you got to know when to just take what you've got and yeah, let the mountains and the weather be the boss for today. So yeah, we came back down. Distance wise, the route's going to be about the same. I think it's going to be about 26 kilometers, quite a good little outing. Ascent wise, not quite as much as it would have been, so I think we've done 1,030 odd meters so far, so slightly off on what the total route was. And we'll have to come back out to get the other one, but maybe do it on a weeknight or something. We'll figure it out. But yeah, it is today cold, wet and windy. Those are the 3 key words for you.
It's a very wet day.
Water in the pockets. Even waterproof zips are not waterproof. Yeah. They do say water resistant, to be fair. Yeah. Look at this, my waterproof trousers where the zip is. You can see it's pretty wet in general though. It's actually quite surprising how much water's gotten in, isn't it?
Yeah, that's quite
Look at
bad
that.
actually.
Yeah. Luckily these are so lightweight they don't hold water. Yeah. But yeah,
everything had a proper test.
They pretty much failed.
Yeah.
I mean, they're old anyway, but see these ones.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit better.
Still.
A bit better higher up, to be fair, but still not too bad considering the amount of water. I think my top is pretty dry. Yeah.
Oh wow, you're bone drying though.
Yeah,
that's
really
nice.
dry. I think even on my back actually.
Yeah, you got a little sweat mark, but other than that,
but overall,
very
on
dry.
my yeah, the top half did really well. The bottom half, not so much. Oh well. At least the brand new jacket did what it should. I would have been very upset if it didn't, to be honest. Oh, right. Get our clothes off, eh? Get naked.